With 2021 wrapping up just around the corner and 2020 actually feeling a lot closer than it really was supposed to feel like, I thought that this would be a great time to do a little throwback. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about my top 10 songs that I still listen to, that still slap from the year 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Shuby, songwriter, producer, artist here, repping for Still Slaps. Thank you for joining me today. If you appreciate the video, go ahead and leave me a like, go ahead and leave me a subscribe, bell on for notifications for future videos. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into it in 3, 2, 1. Bam! Number 1 is going to be Glass Animals, Tangerine. This is, I want to say this was one of the singles from their album that came out in 2020, Dreamland, which was actually a pretty solid album. I was not shooting album reviews at this time, but I did hear this album, and this album was very aesthetic in the way that it sounded sonically, and was just a very awesome piece of just dreamscape when you're talking about the way the different moments in the track list really shifted your thinking in the way of just the way you were taking in the music. And Tangerine is a slapper and a half that was on this album that a lot of people are still bumping today, to almost 2 years later, and it deserves all the credit in the world for, first of all, blending the elements of the dreaminess of those different melodies and mixing them together with that really brash, hard hip-hop type of production. It's amazing how it all works with the lead vocalist, with his delivery as well. The melody that he's able to float on with that beautiful hook. Please, 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 I'm not gonna do it justice, but you get what I'm saying. Number 2 is going to be the one and only Don Toliver, Cardigan. Now, Cardigan came out in 2020 on the album from Don Toliver's, I believe it was his debut album, if I'm not mistaken, Heaven or Hell. This was a pretty solid project. It wasn't nothing too, mind-blowing, but it did have its fair share of slappers that a lot of people still bump to this day. So Don Toliver, Cardigan is one of those ones. And just when you listen to the way Don is just echoing on this beat with the really melodic hook and the energy, and he just really gives you that kind of, he reminds me a lot of Akon. He reminds me of a modern day Akon, but a little bit more, like I said, the younger sound, just the modern sound that he is able to give you when it comes down to his production and what he's doing on the beat. I just really like his delivery. I like his cadence. The beat is okay on this one. I do think I am in love more with the way his delivery is and the way his emphasis is on certain sounds and vowels and things of that nature. Number three is going to be Tame Impala, Lost in Yesterday. Tame Impala has been very credible in the past few years. They've been just really killing it for a hot minute now. It's awesome that they've been able to be a really recognizable, lovable band from different genres. The hip hop genre really does appreciate Tame Impala pretty well. Lost in Yesterday is just such a beautiful piece of music. Kevin Parker's vocals are always so soothing and just very peaceful, and the melodies that he comes up with, they don't fail to hit at all. Lost in Yesterday is just great, from the groovy bass line that production comes off with, that hooks you right away, to the melodies that Kevin is able to layer over, and the melodic synth and keyboard work that you hear in that record as well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful record. Still slaps to this day. Number 4, we have Thundercat, Funny Thing. Thundercat, Funny Thing is such a vibe. And what's interesting about this one is this is only like a minute and change long. I think it's like a minute and 20 seconds long. And I love that it got its attention off of TikTok. This was a record that was floating around. And you know what's funny? It's so dope because I only know that because I was watching another YouTuber, Corey Kenshin, and he was doing like a collage of TikToks that were funny or what have you. And one of the TikToks had this song in their video. And it just goes to show you, when I looked it up and saw that the runtime was only a minute and 20 something seconds, it was like, well, it really, if you can master getting a vibe in as quickly as possible and for it to still be loved as such a dope piece of music for a lot of people to enjoy rather quickly, you, my friend, are going to be considered to be one of the more doper, just really awesome artists who can really just dominate out here. It's very, very groovy. Thundercat is a very, very groovy kind of, likes to pay ode to the older piece of music from the 70s funk and all that kind of mixing in different elements from back in the day in his music for the modern day, and it's still working. Obviously, Thundercat, Funny Thing, this definitely deserves to be here. Number 5 goes to the one and only Dua Lipa, FutureNostalgia. I'm not talking about FutureNostalgia the album, the self-titled album, which, by the way, also still slaps. That's another video for another day. I'm talking about Dua Lipa, FutureNostalgia, the song, the very first record on the album. It is a banger from Dua Lipa's characterization in her vocals, the way she's able to come off on the track and just take the bull by the horns and lead with her very, very interesting cadence and her accent, obviously characterizing her here, which was really cool. Really just not shying away from the attitude. The way she's able to flow on this record with her hook is going to get you in there right away, and you're in for a really, really good time for the album in general. But this is a very, very great song. It's just a great song. It's very, very prominent in the production, and it just feels so beautiful. It makes you want to dance every time. You will definitely catch me in the whip bumping FutureNostalgia by Dua Lipa. Number six goes to Disclosure, Energy. This is one of the more recent dance tracks from the duo Howard and Guy. They're one of my favorite dance electronic duos of recent time. I listen to these guys on a regular. This album came out in 2020. It's a great time if you're working out, if you just want to get a little bit of motivation on your side. It is not a bad choice to consider. Disclosure, Energy, very, very just ecstatic production. It moves very, very quickly, and at the same time, of course, Disclosure is going to pay homage to the atmosphere of the track by slowing it down and filling up the spaces with their synth work, and obviously the sample here as well is going to be a big thing. It's just a very, very great time, a very, very great record. And for not having any vocal work aside from a sample, these guys sure do know how to give you a good time. Number 7 is going to go to Drake, Laugh Now, Cry Later. Laugh Now, Cry Later is probably one of the more better Drake records that has come out in the past couple of years. And I'm just being honest, after Certified Lover Boy dropped this year, it was very, very underwhelming in a lot of cases. I still have a couple of slaps that I do go to from Certified Lover Boy, but Not much holds up like Laugh Now, Cry Later. Laugh Now, Cry Later was a great performance between arguably both Drake and Lil Durk. And I think that Drake is really taking the melody by the horns here. You can tell he really wants to be on the track. And at the same time, you know, just giving you that waviness in his vocals, his vocalization, and then the chemistry between him and Lil Durk. Him passing it over to Lil Durk is very much a statement for Lil Durk. Lil Durk takes the baton, runs with it, and is able to give you a really, really solid verse. This production with the horns and just overall the way that these two fill out the beat is very much a wave and still slaps today. Number 8, we have Big Sean, Wolves, featuring Post Malone. This is one of those records that is, I will consider to be a little bit of a sleeper. It might be a little bit of a sleeper in the sense of Big Sean's catalog. I think Wolves was a great testament to how Sean can really go over different production and really fill his vocals out to be more than just rapidy rap. He can definitely give you a good song to bump to, and in the sense of taking it and stretching it out to be a more kind of a different approach to the production. Post Malone being on this thing was definitely a surprise for me. And with Post Malone, I really do appreciate his delivery on this song. I do appreciate the way his range is with, you know, the different pockets that he gets in with his flow. And it was a really, really great record. Still is a great record. I still listen to this one pretty regular. So it definitely earned a place on this list. Number, what is this, number 9? Yeah, number 9. Taylor Swift, Evermore. Now, this song is kind of a cakewalk for somebody like Taylor, when you consider her catalog, when you consider just her, just the ability of Taylor to write songs like this and really give you that sort of slower melodic pocket. But this comes from her album 2 years ago now, Folklore, and Folklore was definitely a great start of the for the new decade for Taylor. I definitely feel like it's a return to form to her in a lot of different places, and more particularly, this song really gravitates your attention. It really pulls me in. Specifically, it made my list because I really appreciate great bridges in song. Really appreciated that delivery and the way the vocals play with each other from Bon Iver's part, and it was just a great time. Still is a great time. Still slaps today. Now, our last one comes by no surprise. I had to give this artist a second slot on the list because, quite frankly, she's just been killing it. It's going to Dua Lipa, Levitating. What's not to say about Dua Lipa, Levitating? It still slaps hard. I think this is going to be one of those records that is going to be her superpower record, where it's just you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it because one of the reasons is it's just a great record. It's a great time every time you play it. It's very impossible to not want to just get up and rage when you hear this song, in a good way, obviously, not Travis Scott rage, but you definitely want to get up, dance, have a great time. You want to slide when you hear this thing, and Dua Lipa's performance is captivating. It's pretty much perfect on a record like this, on top of already perfect pop production. So yeah, it's going to her. Now, guys, that's my top 10. If you have a different top 10 or a similar top 10, I'm gonna need you to link it in the comments below. I'm gonna need you to scream and shout, share, and do all that good stuff below. Click the links below for more videos, and make sure you subscribe. Please tell me if you're still bumping a very important single from a couple years back now. with the year wrapping up, we just have a lot of great top 10 lists that are coming out. Let me know, guys. This has been my top 10 songs that I still listen to from 2020. Shuby, songwriter, producer, artist, still slaps.
That slaps.